Hey, welcome back to the Stanley Parable. We are going to play a little bit more. We're going to try some of the different endings. I'm not sure which one we're going to go for. I think we might just wing it on this one and see what we get. So let's explore and see what we can find.
This is the story.
We've already seen this. We know how the story's going to go. Alright, I think there's already an ending right here, actually.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
Nope.
What if he had to make a decision?
Don't
What
like
if a
him.
crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had
Ugh.
never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly.
Very
The
good
thing
point,
to do
Mr.
now,
Narrator
Stanley
guy.
thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Whoa, I think that was the coward ending, since he didn't leave his office. Oh. That's different.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Wow.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This is way different. I've seriously never had that happen
When
before.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave
you're
of
not getting
disbelief,
fired.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
get
office,
fired.
hoping he might find an answer there.
Let a ball up inside you, take it out passive aggressively on other coworkers, and resent coworkers for not supporting you more.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No. Can I? Okay, there's nothing back here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
How did this
He
car
considered
get in
the
here?
possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his
Yeah, he come
post
through
during
here.
work hours. He might be
probably
fired
came through
for
here.
that. And in such a competitive
Is that my
economy,
car?
why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as
Have I been
Stanley
in here
pondered this,
already?
he began to make other strange observations.
Wait a
For
minute.
example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked
Wait,
down? Why did
can't see my
doors
feet.
close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining
can't
so
see anything.
lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Huh?
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
How is that floating?
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
Yeah.
This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
Do it.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
So, God dang it.
Stanley began screaming.
Ah!
Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must.
Oh, God dang it.
Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like.
Look
And
dead,
in that
not
moment,
crazy.
she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
She didn't call an ambulance? You know, that looked really sketchy to me. Make sure you check the game out. It is a great game. They have a demo of it on Steam. Get it. It's $15. So much fun. It's something great to just sit down and kill a little bit of time with. All right, you guys, make sure you have a great day.